Hey guys, today we are going to be talking about the episode Daddycop, which I got to react to over on my new channel, the Maya.B Show Reacts, which I'll have linked in the description if you want to check it out. But today I wanted to dive deeper into what the episode revealed with us and also give a bit of a news update. The next new episode from season 6 that was expected to release was Revelator, which is episode 11. However, it has recently been revealed that the episode will no longer be coming out on February 22nd, which means that as of right now, we don't have any new episode air dates, but I do think this is a good thing because this is episode 11 we're talking about. We've still yet to see episode 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So honestly, I'm kind of glad that they're not going to be sharing the episode, and I really do hope that they do hold off on sharing any episodes, if not for being in the chronological order. But as of right now, we don't have any news or episodes coming out this week or the following week. But as soon as we do get anything new, I'll of course share it here. We get to see in this episode the reality of Sabrina's situation, what it's like to detach yourself from a toxic friendship, and how you'll be perceived by others after doing so. While it may look like Chloe is living the life in London, I definitely think there's some unaddressed problems going on between her and her mother that I'm really hoping we'll get to see be touched on later on in the season, as to me it just doesn't feel right for Chloe to have left and to never be brought up again. But what do you guys think? Do you want to see her be more addressed later on in the season, or are you fine with her absence? Throughout this episode, it's planned that Marinette would be spending the night with her girlfriends, but she also wants to incorporate Adrian into the party so that she can celebrate their 100th kiss.
Because, Tiki, tonight the Hoatan star will be in conjunction with Jupiter.
I never knew Marinette was into astrology. At the beginning of the episode, when Marinette's bike breaks down, we do see Sabrina jump into action and become Miss Hound, and there's a few things I found interesting about this. One, we can see that Sabrina feels like she goes unnoticed when as Sabrina. She can hardly get Marinette's attention to begin with, so she becomes Miss Hound and brings her bike to the repair shop. But even while doing this, Marinette ends up turning into Ladybug and leaving the scene, leaving Sabrina completely alone. While she's transformed as Miss Hound, this is also the last time we see her in her old design for Miss Hound, as later on in the episode when she's called upon by Ladybug to become Miss Hound, while at first she rejects the idea and says that she's not worthy nor a good person, Ladybug reminds her that she's changed and that she is a better person now, which is when we see Sabrina's Miraculous and camouflage mode change, and with that her design. I've always loved how the Miraculouses and the costumes become a reflection of the user. Earlier on in the episode when the girls are having lunch, Zoe notices Sabrina sitting by herself, which is when she reaches out to her and asks if she's okay. We can see that Sabrina's been crying and tearing paper, which is honestly so relatable when you're crying. And this is when Zoe assures her that she'll try and get her invited to the party. But unfortunately, while all of this is going on, Marinette is too distracted with the idea of trying to figure out how to get Adrian to join her and the girls at the party.
I'm not sure your girls' movie night would feel special to them if I was there for a romantic evening at the same time. That's why I'm not coming.
So when Zoe does go to ask her if somebody else can be invited, Marinette assumes, yeah, Adrian, while Zoe and the rest of the girls, including Sabrina, assume that Sabrina's gonna be invited. Speaking about Miraculouses and their camouflage mode, Zoe's new look is so pretty. Like, the back of her hair with the Miraculous is just gorgeous. When Zoe is asking the other girls whether or not Sabrina can be invited, this is actually when we hear some of the others suggest people that they'd love to be invited as well, like Sublime, Ondine, and a new character named Agli. I'm wondering if we'll ever meet this character or if we already have. This is Maya after filming, but what if Agli is one of Lila's new disguises while she's attending the same school? Because remember, she is going to be attending that school. We just haven't seen her yet. So what if Agli is Lila's new disguise? Maybe. So later on that night, when Sabrina shows up to the party and is completely rejected by Marinette, as Marinette was thinking it was going to be Adrian, this results in Sabrina nearly being akumatized, which I thought was so interesting to see, since the last time we saw Cerise/Lila and Sabrina have an interaction with each other was at the end of last season, when Sabrina straight up exposed her.
Do you wear wigs?
Sabrina was able to break free though, but at this point she'd already had called her dad, telling him that there is no space for her here or in this city. She needs to leave. She has no friends. And like any parent would react, her dad was furious and sad, which is when he ends up getting akumatized into Daddycop, a newer, stronger version of Roger Cop. And the action and fight scenes this season have just hit different. And I think it all has to do with the new animation. It is so crisp. I totally forgot to mention, we got Miss Hound's transformation in this episode too. I love her transformation. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I really did try to dress like Miss Hound in some way with the colors. Meanwhile, I have the Fox Miraculous, but you get the point. I love her little hat, and just like the whole transformation sequence is so nice. And during this episode, we even get to see Miss Hound use the new feature integrated into all of the Miraculouses that allow for any of the holders to call upon other holders, like in this case, calling on Pegasus. I was so excited to end up seeing Lila have a little scene again in this episode, and this time for a split second we get to see Nuru not paralyzed, speaking until she snaps her fingers and paralyzes him again. During this, she told Nuru not to address her and also to start again. This whole situation with Chrysalis is still very confusing and new to us, but I'm always intrigued to see her little moments in the episode. And by the end of this episode, we see Adrianette have their 100th kiss and 101 kiss. They're so adorable, and we even get to see Sabrina's new design, which was revealed in the season 6 intro and end screen. But I honestly thought it wasn't gonna happen just because we hadn't seen it yet. And we can see her new haircut, the camouflage version of her Miraculous, and everyone being super supportive. But the part of this episode that had me freaking out was the end scene. It seems like in every episode we are guaranteed these end scenes now, and I love them because they're so good. While in Sublimation it was Sublime and her parents meeting with Mrs. Sarugi, this episode we see Zoe encounter a character we've never seen before who goes by the name Ray, and he's basically threatening Zoe to reveal something from her past when she was in New York, and I have a few things to say about that. Firstly, Ray, I don't like you, and I'm gonna make fun of him. He's giving,
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
But secondly, he looks way older than Zoe. It seems like he's wearing a school uniform, so he could potentially be coming from another school in Paris or maybe even New York, who knows? But I also have a feeling that he could be related to Chloe and Zoe in some way. He could be a stepbrother for all we know. We had no clue Zoe existed, and then one day she just showed up. So who knows? He could definitely be related to them. He might not be related to them. He's kind of giving Chloe energy with the glasses, the hair, the eyes, the attitude. And he also goes to call Zoe Cockroach. So maybe something to do with cockroaches, like a prank similar to maybe what Kim did, is something she may have gotten involved with when she used to live in New York. But it's hard for me to imagine Zoe as a bully just because of the few things we do know about her, such as that she had no friends, and if she did have a friend, it was Jess. But this makes me so excited and hopeful because I've said it before, I'll say it again, Zoe is just a personality-less character to me. And I'm not a Zoe hater. I want to love her character. I like her character, but there's just not much to her other than that she's nice. Hopefully, like this episode did for Sabrina, we'll see another separate episode for Zoe that will elaborate on all of this. And maybe it'll be an episode where Ray gets akumatized. What do you guys think of him though? Because he's just trouble. But if it means Zoe will grow as a character, I'm all here for it. This episode was amazing. I loved it. I've been loving all of the episodes this season so far, which is honestly unbelievable to me because if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I didn't know what to expect for this season. Every episode has something important for us to see. Every episode is elaborating on characters, and I feel like we'll continue to do that for other characters like Ivan, Milen, Nathaniel, Mark. I think that this season is going to touch on everybody. And one of you guys actually brought this up in the comments under my reaction video, which I'll have on the screen here. But I also agree that it's important for us to learn more about Nino. I recently did a theory video on how Chris could be Chrysalis's sidekick, and if that's the case, then we need to learn more about Nino and his family, including his brother Chris. But whether or not that's just a theory or true, I still think that it's important for us to learn about all of the characters Rose being one of them. I think we've all noticed her design change, which could have to do with her health. I really want to see Luca. We've only seen him in the intro. We haven't even seen him in an episode yet, but like all of last season, he was training to be a guardian, and I'm so ready for him to make a return this season as well. But yeah, overall, this season has been so far everything I've been hoping for it to be. But as always, be sure to let me know your thoughts and theories down below, and subscribe so you never miss the tea on the show you love. And an extra special thanks to my Celestial Guardian channel members, Libby, Fa, John, Ari, Simply Noah, Amandine, Kayla, and Woodrod King, and I'll see you guys in the next one.